Mr. President.
The senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, this past Friday, thousands of Americans, young and old, marched to peacefully call attention to the sanctity and inherent value of each life. Their advocacy and passion drive our work on Capitol Hill to protect women and unborn children. Mr. President, I'm a doctor, and I learned in medical school that a child's life begins in the womb. Abortion ends that life. Medically, morally, there's no difference in the value of a child whether she is in her mother's arm or her mother's womb. And as a doctor, I learned the first rule is to do no harm. Chemical abortion drugs are designed to do harm, to eliminate the life of the unborn child, and at times to do harm to the child's mother. That's why, as chair of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, I focused our first hearing of 2026 on the dangers of the chemical abortion drug mifepristone. Women, families, and unborn children deserved that we do so. I thank Louisiana Attorney General Liz Merrill and Dr. Monique Wubenhorst for sharing the real-life impact abortion drugs have on women and their unborn children. Their testimonies confirm the need to restore the previous in-person dosing requirements that the Biden administration recklessly removed. Chemical abortion drugs are not safe, run-of-the-mill drugs. You shouldn't be able to order them without undergoing a proper medical examination and screening, not just to see the stage of the pregnancy, but to make sure that the person who is going to receive the drug is not being coerced to take the drug. Now let's first speak about potential side effects. One study showed that 9 in 10 women who take a chemical abortion drug describe their pain as moderate to severe. Half say it was worse than expected. Another study found that 1 in 10 women undergoing mifepristone-induced abortions experienced serious adverse events, including hemorrhage, excessive bleeding, sepsis, or infection. Now, that sounds so medical. But this is not about statistics or about how doctors speak. It's about women with real stories. Without the in-person dispensing requirement, pregnant women across the country, including my state of Louisiana, are at risk of being coerced into having an abortion against their will. Attorney General Merrill described a 16-year-old girl from Louisiana who was planning to have a gender reveal party. And instead, her mother forced her to take the abortion pill. And instead of a gender reveal party, she ended up in the emergency room with complications from taking the medicine. The pill she took was prescribed by a doctor in New York. Now, it violates Louisiana's law that would not have allowed the doctor from New York to prescribe this. But the doctor in New York did not know the age of the fetus within the woman's womb, and she certainly didn't have the opportunity to ask her, do you really want to take this? If she had asked the young girl, the young lady, do you really want to take this? She would have found out that she didn't, that it was her mother getting the pill for her and her mother was coercing her to take the medicine. Now, pregnant women in Louisiana and across the country, again, receive these drugs through the mail, often from somebody out of their state, who never does an ultrasound to see the stage of the pregnancy. And this is reckless. The medicine is only approved to be taken within the first 10 weeks of pregnancy. And one reason why, I'm not an obstetrician, one reason why, though, is that as the fetus grows inside the womb, at some point, the fetus is too large to pass safely through the opening of the womb. The FDA has not reviewed the safety risk of taking it after 10 weeks. Women now are taking it, in the testimony we had, at week 20. This becomes a safety risk for the mother. If she cannot pass the fetus, then the child stays in her womb as she's at risk of infection, at risk of, again, going to the emergency room and finding out that she's otherwise sick. By the way, I'm a gastroenterologist. But my colleague, Dr. Marshall, who is an obstetrician, is also on the HELP committee. And he pointed out that many women are inaccurately describe how far along their pregnancy is. If you ask the woman, when was your last menstrual cycle, that should date how many weeks she is pregnant. But Dr. Marshall, an obstetrician with decades of clinical practice, will say that it's inexact and that the standard of care is to calculate the gestational age of the child by doing an ultrasound. And when the woman knows that the child is further along, she'll find out that the child actually has a heartbeat and could live outside the womb. And some will reconsider on their own volition whether or not they want to have the abortion. This is why the in-person visit to the doctor is so important. Now, in some cases, these drugs are being mailed from outside of the United States. We don't know what's in them. They're not labeled in compliance with FDA guidelines. And again, there's no patient-doctor relationship where the pregnant woman can seek needed follow-up care for the serious adverse events. So let's be clear. If the chemical abortion drug were any other medicine coming from an unknown country with unknown ingredients, being prescribed by an out-of-state doctor who does not see the patient, it's being taken off-label, not in line with FDA guidelines, and sometimes the patient, well documented, is being coerced into taking it, there should be bipartisan outrage. So why is this drug, this condition, any different? How did we get here? To the point where abortion pills can be ordered online, mailed, taken with no medical supervision or safeguards against coercion. Think of the girls, the women, in abusive relationships, or those who are being trafficked, whose voices have been silenced. Now, I was just in an airplane bathroom, and noticing things in the bathroom, and I noticed the sign there. Call this number if you're being trafficked. It understood that a young person being taken to a Super Bowl, because oftentimes young people being trafficked are brought to a big event like a Super Bowl, it's happening right now, are going to be in an airplane, and it tells them, speak to the flight attendant, or call this number if you're being trafficked. And it struck me that we will put a sign in an airplane bathroom, and thank goodness for Southwest Airlines doing that. We'll put a sign in a bathroom to inform the young lady of the risk of being trafficked and how to get out of it. But at the same time, we don't do anything about the pimp who might be getting the pill, forcing her to take it to end a pregnancy that resulted from her being trafficked. Shouldn't we tell her the truth of a chemical abortion? Now, as chairman of the HELP committee, I strongly urge Secretary Robert Kennedy and Commissioner McCarry to complete the review of mifepristone that they both promised that they would complete during their confirmation hearings. They both said they would complete it. It's not been completed. Many other things of much less seriousness and much less priority have been completed, but not this. And when we're asked, we're told it's in the by and by. This should be completed now, not as being prescribed as the FDA said it's being prescribed or should be prescribed, but as being prescribed in real life after week 10, long after the FDA has approved for its use. Republican members of my committee and many other senators protect an answer. As an absolute minimum, the previous in-person safeguard should be restored immediately by the Trump administration. We should go back to the way it was in Trump 1, where if you're going to get this medication, you must see a doctor and allow that evaluation to occur. And by the way, this is not just Republicans saying this. A recent poll found that 71% of Americans, including 67% who self-identify as pro-choice, support requiring a doctor's visit for the chemical abortion drug to be prescribed. We should be supporting women with the resources they need to have a happy, healthy pregnancy, and we need to be informing them of the complications that they can have from taking this medicine And the least we should do is require an in-person visit so that the patient can be evaluated by her doctor, so that the doctor can determine that, one, it's safe for the pregnancy, even if you're pro-choice, safe for the woman to take the drug, even if it's not safe for the child, and that the woman is not being coerced to take it. That should be the stand of a pro-life administration. With that, I yield.